And also because you've worked with like super close icons. I mean, Gigi Hadid, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Kendall Jenner, you guys. You've met Alex Consani, you've met a bunch of people. Like, what stands out to you emotionally, would you say? Hi everybody, welcome back to the Visibility Edit. I'm your host, Manuela Salazar. Today, thank you so much. We're here joined by the most amazing guest, Mandy. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, and thank you for inviting me today.
Anytime. Thank you so much for making the effort to come.
Of course, of course.
Yes, of course. Okay. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell the audience who you are, what you kind of do, a little bit summarized.
Yeah, so I'm Mandy Dyonne Lieveld. I'm from the Netherlands. I am a full-time runway coach.
Wow, amazing. And where'd you grow up? What was kind of like your background growing up?
So I started as a model. I grew up in the Netherlands, and I was always very tall. I didn't want to be that tall. I was always slouching, and everyone said, "Oh, you should model, you should model." And then I thought, "Oh, maybe I should try." And at that moment, while I was modeling, there wasn't a lot of guidance. So I thought that was in the back of my mind. And then I was always interested in dance, and then I started to do the dance academy and learned a lot about my posture, about movement. And in my second year, I got a muscular disease, so I couldn't even lift my arms. It was with paralyzation. But yeah, it made me realize that you have to do the things in life that you love.
Yeah, I mean, well, look where it got you. Like,
for sure. Yeah, at that time I was studying psychology, and then I realized that's really good for models.
Wait, so how'd you get from psychology to kind of getting into the fashion industry? How was that like?
So yeah, at that time I was for myself also modeling and doing the dance academy, and I realized I know a lot of people in the industry. So I started first really small, and then pretty fast I got to work with elites. But I did had like I had my bachelor and master in psychology, so did it on the side, so very slowly. And the Netherlands is not as big, and it's a small industry. So then I got to very fast to elite models, and that was my bridge to New York.
So that was kind of like, that's how you started modeling, right? That's how you broke into the industry with elite? Or is that how you started coaching?
So that's the bigger job for the coaching jobs.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay. Well, I mean, about your height, you mentioned something earlier about growing up and like always being slouchy and stuff like that. How'd you overcome that, or realize it was maybe something that you could use like as a strength?
Yeah, I mean, already if you're going into this industry, the modeling industry, you see other girls who are as tall, and you see the appreciation of being tall. So that really helps. And although you still feel a little bit, maybe goofy, but no, I think just being in this industry and dare to show yourself. And step by step, you feel more comfortable with it.
Oh, that sounds good. Well, how'd you get from like being a model and specifically getting into coaching? Like, was it more of like a slow process, or was there kind of like a moment where you realized like, oh, I kind of want to do coaching, I'm going to proceed with this?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was definitely the moment that I got that muscle disease, and it made me realize you have to do the things in life that you love.
Yeah.
And for me, and then what is it that you love? And for me, I loved coaching, and I loved New York, and at that time it's like, okay, let's just go for it. And so then it was almost like a mind map, like, okay, I know some people from this industry, and then just doing it.
If you don't mind me asking, how was like the recovery process, or how was getting out of it, or recovering? How was that like?
Well, it's chronicle, but I got an operation. So in the summer, I got an operation. I mean, this is already 15 years ago, but that got much better. So in that sense, but I still needed to deal with it.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that's crazy. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad
Yes,
you're here.
thank you,
And you
thank
made it,
you.
and you definitely recovered very
I
well.
have to say, less stress is also better for
Less
your
stress,
body.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's kind of really inspirational because I don't know, but I really love New York. Like New York is where I want to go for college and stuff. So kind of like, I don't know, what do you think about New York? Like what do you think, pros and cons?
I mean, I love that city, and it's funny because when I started, it's a city where I just looked up and like, wow, wow, wow. And then after a couple of years living there, you look down and you're like, oh wait, it's actually very dirty.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a city that has a lot of energy, has a lot of things to offer, and. Yeah, I think definitely you should. Yeah, you should just try it. But it can be a rough city. It's not an easy city.
Because it's so fast paced, right?
It's fast paced, and yeah, also you really have to learn to sometimes say no as well,
Yeah, that's true.
and just yeah.
But it's just so funny because I know you relate to this. Like the moment I step into New York, it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm here, and it's like you see everybody moving, you see all different types of people, and that's like
Yeah.
part of the thing that drives me. Can you relate to that?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's no place like it. Yeah. It's yeah. You have to just soak it all up once you're there.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about your background in psychology and dance. Was this like a master's degree or what
Yeah.
kind of was that?
Yeah, so I had my master's degree in psychology, so bachelor, master, and my master was about performance psychology,
Ooh, that's cool.
as in I was I was like guiding a lot of people that were under a lot of pressure.
Okay.
And it was specifically like sports and I mean work as well, but and I would almost say modeling is a type of a sport or like a top sport, or the Fashion Week is the Olympics of modeling. Yeah, so you need to be also mentally very prepared.
So would you say it ended up helping you?
Oh yeah,
Right?
for sure,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So it's like all about the mentality. Like, what are some tips maybe or?
Well, in this industry, do not take anything personal.
Mm-hmm.
Really see things as your business self.
Yeah.
And because especially there's a lot of rejections in this
Yeah,
industry.
that's true.
And yeah, you can't take it. And yeah, I mean, and you have to always feel confident.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's not easy when there's so many opinions about the way you look. But yeah, the biggest advice as well is just being yourself.
Yeah, that's true. So when you coach people, well, first of all, for those of you that don't really understand the role of a runway coach, kind of what does being a runway coach mean to you, and how would you describe it as?
I would describe it as so I would guide models, and it can be models that are in this industry for a long time, because now the industry is much diverse.
Yeah.
So yes, it can be a model that is just getting started, or just want to try it out on the runway, or just want to feel comfortable on the runway. So I coach, and of course the walk, but I would almost say like it's 80%, not okay, maybe 70-80% is mental, is
Really?
mentally, is the confidence, showing yourself, and yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
Why exactly do you think that like, would you say that confidence is like a lot more important than the actual walk? Like, how would you see like?
It goes hand in hand.
It goes hand in hand. I
And
see.
because if you feel confident, you will have a better walk. But
That's
also,
true.
if you have a better walk, you feel more confident.
That's
So
true. That's true.
It's the
It kind of like
skills
goes hand in
and-
hand.
yeah.
Would you say it varies? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But about the modeling industry specifically, you've been in it, and I
Yeah.
mean, you obviously coach a bunch of models and for all these designers and stuff like that. A lot of the people, especially on social media, often glamorize it and make it seem like a very glamorous type of career. But since you've seen the inside, would you disagree with this? Would you say that there's like kind of like a non-glamorous reality to it?
I mean, yes, because backstage is already way different than front stage. Or front stage. I mean, it's yeah, less glamorous. It's hard work.
Yeah.
And I mean, eventually you are like it's selling a product and it's selling, I mean, it's art. It's not, it's displaying art. And so it's creating a mood, and it's yeah, maybe a little bit of a dream world, but
Yeah.
to get there, it takes a lot of time.
That's
and it's
true.
takes a lot of effort.
Because
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of like documentaries that specifically go into the model world, or specifically the fashion world, and it shows the glamour side, yes, but also the reality. So would you say that this is the thing that's most often misunderstood about the fashion industry, or what would be your take on that?
I mean, I'm not, it might be the same as like actors. Like if you're doing it
That's
for the
true.
fame, don't do it. But
Yeah, of course.
and it might be here as well. Like it's eventually it's a lot of traveling. Fashion week, you might not sleep that much. You go to castings, and the next day a call time of 5 a.m. And you're doing fittings the day before till maybe 12 or
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
So it's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
Does it get like repetitive day after day, kind of like?
Well, that's the fun thing,
Yeah.
is that it's always a different team, or
That's true.
sometimes it's the same team, but then still it's a different collection or a different
Different setup and stuff
yeah,
like that. Yeah,
yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
So you mentioned something earlier about helping models deal with rejection and to not take things personally. So how would you give tips on that? Or how do you help models actually deal with the rejection when it so often happens?
I would definitely, no, again, what I said before, like, don't take things personal. Again, take it really as your business sell, because singers, they have their voice. I mean, it's also looks, but it
Yeah.
is the skills of their voice. Actors has their acting skills, and modeling, it's your looks. So you have to see that also as your business. So you have to take care of it. And yeah, you have to be realistic. Like, even if you're going to a casting and you see everyone, it's impossible that everyone will get a yes.
Right.
So in that sense, yeah, and just think like, okay, after this, maybe something bigger is coming.
That's true. Like you have to be patient, right?
You have to be
Right.
very patient.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to ask you about what a day in your life is like, especially since I've seen you work on your Instagram and stuff, like crazy call times at 4 a.m. and then you have straight right after that, I don't know, maybe a couple shows, and then you work 12-hour days or something
Yeah.
like that. But at the end of the day, you have worked with like amazing designers. I mean, you've worked with Bottega Veneta, Mugler, amazing models, amazing people,
Yeah.
and well, in this amazing industry. Well,
Yeah.
so kind of like what's a day in the life?
A day in my life.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, where and no, but it really I almost would say not any day is the same.
Really?
Look, if it's Fashion Week, indeed, it can be the call times, long hours. By the time that we're getting to, or me, myself, and I getting to Paris, my brain is fried and I can only watch cartoons.
Really?
Like, yeah, Pets 2 or something like that. But if it's not Fashion Week, I'll work from an office, which is everywhere, like a working places. And yeah, so then I just work on social media, emailing, online classes. I have an online platform as well with an app. And yeah, and then in the weekends I'll do the classes. And if it's not Fashion Week, I go to the cities where there are models as well, like the smaller I mean, Chicago, Atlanta, or
Yeah.
LA is not small.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So there's basically like never a break.
Yeah.
Literally, it's so continuous. But that's the fun in it, that it's not
Yeah.
like there's something different every day. So
Yeah.
what do you
For
love
sure.
about it? What like sparks that passion?
My students.
Really?
Because I mean, I can basically almost teach the same things, and the skills are the same that I teach, but every time I just have people in front of me that inspire me. Yeah.
That's
Well,
amazing.
you were one of
Oh my
them
God, thank you so
too.
much. No,
yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
This isn't about me right now, but I'm kidding. But thank you. Also, I wanted to congratulate you because I saw in your story literally maybe 20 minutes ago that 3 of your students, one of them just opened for the Dior show. Oh my gosh, congrats. Like, how does that feel?
Amazing.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing, that you start and there's a lot of tears sometimes. Not everyone comes in with like, because it's just draining, and like they don't have that much sleep. They're sometimes not from Paris, and this show was in Paris, and then there's a lot of pressure.
Right.
And it's like here, there, but yeah.
Also, random detail. I remember seeing on one of your Instagram posts a couple months ago, I don't know, last year's Marc Jacobs show, I think it was, with the humongous heels.
Yeah.
Please tell me a little bit more about that, because that was insane.
God.
That was
Yes.
insane.
It was very insane in the sense of we had all these. It was the heels that were like this, and
Like 10
so
inches. How many?
maybe even more, like 20,
crazy. It was
and in
insane.
front it was 10. It was like he always has these gorgeous, artistic heels. And I mean, you have Alex Consani who's like, okay, let's
Just
go,
walks,
let's
just
go.
walks.
And so it is mindset.
Yeah,
if you just
that's
dare
true.
to walk in them. But the other girls are like, oh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everyone wants to try to make it a good show. So we had like numb spray
Oh my god.
for the feet to get into the shoe.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to help, but it can be very challenging.
Yeah.
It can be very. And how do you prepare for that?
Yeah, how do you can't prepare for that? It's
I
crazy.
mean,
It's just-
not like that. But I mean, wear different types of heels.
Yeah,
That really helps.
that's true.
Yeah.
But also when you have a heel that's like 20 inches, I mean, I'd be, if I was in their shoes, like literally, literally and figuratively, like
Yeah.
I would be freaking out. I'd be like, what if I fall? Like, what if I twist
know.
my ankle? Like, it's a lot.
I know.
It's a lot of pressure. And also like everybody watching you all at once.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
and it was a
crazy.
long runway.
Is there a moment, specifically in modeling or just being in the fashion industry in general, that stands out to you emotionally? And also because you've worked with like super close icons. I mean, Gigi Hadid, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Kendall Jenner, you guys. You've met Alex Consani, you've met a bunch
Yeah.
of people. Like
Yeah.
what stands out to you emotionally, would you say?
Wow. I think for me, there was one girl, Cara Taylor, and it was her first time in New York. She came from Alabama, Huntsville. And she wasn't even planning on modeling. She got scouted, and then boop, she got into New York. We got to train first online and then in New York. And I think that's for others as well. There wasn't that much pressure because I in the beginning I don't even think she knew what it all was.
Yeah.
Like, and of course she can't like suddenly, oh, I don't know what it was, but like she was, oh, you're confirmed for YSL. She's like, okay,
Yeah.
it's huge, but and I think that was really, and that's the beauty of her and her story, is that she's still like the same person.
Yeah.
And after so she opened Givenchy, Chanel, and like
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of
crazy.
shows in that.
But a lot of the times that's where like super good models or super good like famous models that kind of just appear like out of nowhere and don't really know the industry. Like
Yeah.
there's this girl, I don't know if you saw her. I don't know. I think she opened the Chanel show, the one in the subway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
recently.
Bativa, yeah.
Bativa, that
Yeah.
one. That she Matthew Blazy it was.
Bavita, sorry.
Bavita,
Yeah.
yeah. Scouted her like in the subway.
Yes.
Yeah, it's super interesting. You know?
Yeah.
Like it kind of just like started out of nowhere, and I remember seeing that like her family didn't even know what that was, but either way they were proud of her,
Yeah.
of course. And she went back to classes in NYU, and people were like, "What do you mean you just walked? You just like
Yeah.
walked Bottega Veneta? Like what do you mean you're not freaking out? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?" So yeah,
Yeah.
really funny.
True.
So you go a lot of places. I mean, all these fashion weeks. You have New York, you have London, Milan, everything, and you're constantly traveling. How does the runway energy or the environment or maybe the people in the fashion industry change kind of internationally?
From city to city?
Yeah, like how does the vibe change?
Ooh, I mean, I would say, New York is like New York tough. Let's go. London can be maybe a little bit more rougher, artsy as well. Milan, for me, it's just a machine. As in, like,
Really?
there's so many shows, and it goes
Yeah.
there and there and there. And yeah, Paris. It's one of my favorites because it's also like it's not 7 days. It's like 10 days, and there's so many shows.
Yeah.
And it just has the elegance.
Yes,
The
yes.
elegance.
The elegance of Paris. I
Yeah.
love Paris. I love the shows in Paris. It's just like the vibe of Paris is like uncomparable almost. It's just so
It
like
is.
it's amazing.
And you have everyone there because it's the last week.
Yeah, it's true. It's the last one.
So
Right.
yeah, that's
So
good.
what would you say is something that usually surprises people from the fashion industry before they're actually in it and they do end up getting in it?
Yeah, I mean that it's tougher than it seems. And I think that a lot of people who are getting into it, like even if you're getting signed, they think like, oh, tomorrow I have my first job.
Yeah.
And that's not it. And it takes time, and you can't compare yourself to others.
That's true.
You
That's
have
true.
to, because every path will be different, right? Like it's not like one specific path. No.
Comparison is the killer of confidence. I think in
is.
almost every case, it's
Yeah.
horrible. It's
Yeah.
horrible. And especially because everyone's so unique in their own way that
Yeah.
it's like everyone has a different path in every single career. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
True.
So you've been a model, you've been in the fashion industry, you're a runway coach, and you've helped hundreds of models to find their confidence. Was there ever a moment where you doubted yourself or your path, and how did you overcome or push through it?
As a model or or maybe both?
Both. Anytime in
general.
your career. Yeah, in general.
Yeah, of course. I mean, especially when the moment that I moved from New York or from the Netherlands to New York, it was a big step.
Yeah.
Of course, I did it like for 2 years. It was 3 months Amsterdam, 3 months New York. I built up the clients. I built up, and then I got my visa and I moved. But then it's one thing to move to New York, but it's another thing to stay in New
Yeah.
York. So it's and every day, and maybe if you're an entrepreneur, you're like, okay, I'm gonna focus on this, but is that actually the right thing to do today? I don't know. And then you don't see the results right away. So, but then you push through, and every day you work on something. And I mean, in one way, like you're an entrepreneur as a model too, and then you see the results, and then okay, yes.
Even being in New York where it's so fast paced, you still have to have like the patience, right? And
Yeah.
like wait for it to come. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, also, you won the New York Fashion Award for Best International Runway Coach of the Year. That's
You did
huge,
so
by the
much
way.
homework.
Claps,
Thank you.
claps, everybody claps. That's huge, and it kind of like I feel like it maybe reflects like this super long, amazing journey that you've had. What does this recognition represent to you?
Wow. It's, I mean, I think, and maybe that's also me because I'm very humble and very down to earth. So, of course, like it was definitely a highlight in my career. And, but I'm very fast, like, okay, that's great. Next. But
exactly.
you are not next, but let's focus on. So I definitely, and it's good that you say it again, like, okay, yes, I did this.
Yeah, that's good.
And I'm proud. Yeah.
So kind of like looking back at all your accomplishments and being like, oh my God, wait, I actually did this. Like I'm
Yeah.
proud of myself.
Yeah.
Right, that's
Yeah.
cool. So, well, you've obviously come such a long way. What do you want to do in the future? Is there still something that you're working toward, even after everything you've achieved? I mean, you're amazing.
Well, I think what I was saying before, like the online platform. So I have an app. I don't know if I can say it. It's called Model Academy. I just like to then, in that sense, like to reach more people.
Yeah.
Because I'm only me now, and of course on the app as well. But at least I have a lot of videos that I recorded, and that people can look back. But then you can reach more. And I think future-wise, I mean, I just really enjoy every fashion week, every season where you meet so many great people. And it's funny that a lot of people in this industry are here for a long time.
Yeah.
I was just in London, and we were like, oh my God, it was
Yeah.
10 years ago that we were in New
Crazy.
York. And
Yeah.
it was an agent that worked in New York and is now in London. And so And that says so much about the industry as well. I mean, some people also needs a little bit of a break. And we all need a break, but yeah, I think just enjoying it and it's more like maybe some destinations that I haven't been. I haven't been to Brazil or Mexico City or yeah.
When everything's so fast paced, how do you prioritize like maybe self-care, like moments to kind of like wind down, or is that not really a priority?
Well, at this time we're in Miami,
Yeah.
which is for
True.
me, not that it's not fast paced, but for me, that's for me a little bit of the self care.
Yeah, that's true.
To go to a beach, to go and have some fresh air. Yeah, so that's my self care. And yeah. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse that you can work for yourself and have your own time.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do have a Sunday off. No, I do. This is okay. Yeah, or if I really want to start a little bit later, I can.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, hard worker. Like you keep working. Your self care is your working time
yeah,
as well.
but it doesn't feel like work.
Really, it doesn't, because you're having so much fun with it. It obviously, oh, that's amazing. That's such a dream to have. Like,
Right?
I wish
But
everyone
it's-
could love their job like as much as you do, or as much as other people do. Where
Yeah.
they're like, "What do you mean? I don't feel like I need a rest, maybe because I love it so much." You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true. And of course, it took me a long time to get there.
Of course.
Yeah.
So when you were young, did you ever see yourself being this involved in the fashion industry? Like, was it kind of over time, or like were you also mesmerized by this industry when you were younger?
I would never think I will do a
Really?
runway coaching full time.
Oh my
No.
gosh.
But it really, I thought dancing or as a dancer or a choreographer or teacher, those three things was my education. So I was always focusing on that. But when my muscle disease came, I needed to switch. I needed to pivot. And then it became like, I think I was maybe 16 or 15 that I saw the first show. And I was like, wow, this is just magic. I felt like home. So that and there it was really like, yes, this is what I'm gonna do.
That's
and then
so
my first
amazing.
coaching, I was like, yes, I got so much energy out of it.
I feel like I need to prepare myself because, I don't know, things might change. I mean, I'm 17 right now, kind of like the age you figured out.
Yeah.
When you wanted to be in fashion, but I don't know. Right now I want to be in fashion, you know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe things change. I guess I have to prepare myself.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know. You never
No.
really know. So, would you give any advice to maybe younger people that are watching this right now, or maybe some people in general that want to be involved in the fashion industry, but maybe have certain questions on like, how do I get there? Or like, how do I exactly break in? Or maybe they have some self-doubts, or what would you give in advice in general?
Okay, I think the biggest advice is you don't have to be perfect to start. I think that's a lot that I see is just a lot of people are coming to me like, yeah, but then maybe I have to do it a little bit later. I have to wait. No, just it's a process.
Yeah,
And also a lot of people or models that I see. I'm like, wow, you have such great features and so cool, but maybe not the standard like that you have in mind. So, but they don't have the feeling they belong in this industry.
Right.
So you do belong in here. So try and again, like it doesn't mean if one agency says no, then the next one will say no, and that's the same with jobs as well. It's just yeah.
I mean, the worst you can do is just not get a job or something like that. I mean, it's you have nothing to lose. I feel
Nothing
like
to
that's
lose.
such an important mentality. You
Yeah.
probably had that mentality growing up too, right? Kind of just like, were you like laser focused onto a certain goal, or were you just kind of more laid back, or like?
Well, and to say like when I was going back and forth from New York and Amsterdam, and I needed to get a name for myself, or I went to the agency, walked in as well, and I was so nervous that I called my mom and said like, oh my God, what am I doing? And is this a great idea? And then she said, you know what? It's already no. You can only change it in a yes. So just try, and if not, it's fine.
You have nothing to lose. Exactly.
You have nothing to lose. So
Amazing.
yes, you just and with some patience
Yeah.
and some bravery. Yeah.
So good. So, what do you think about the legacy and the history you're creating, and what do you hope your students carry with them beyond the runway?
Wow. I would say what makes me happy as well is that to see that, again, confidence growing, that they came in and thought they couldn't do it, and then they did it. And even beyond with like a show. And it doesn't have to be a Bottega, or it doesn't have to be a Dior, but just an accomplishment that they say, I can do this.
Yeah.
That for me, that I hope to bring.
So like confidence and mentality, you'd say are like the top two.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Mandy, this is all I have for us today. Thank you so much for coming. Like, you're amazing. Thank you for sharing your story and everything.
No, it was really a pleasure. What a good questions as well.
Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you.
Yes, guys, hi everybody. It was great. It was a great episode. Everybody follow Mandy on Instagram at The Runway Coach. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Just from
But yes, thank you so much, and it was an amazing other episode. Bye, you guys.
Thank you.